Welcome back to the Real Hoop Hours podcast. It is Wednesday, and on today's episode, we will be talking about the baby mama drama between the Pelicans and the Trailblazers. In the Real Hoop Hours segment, we're going to be talking about Zach Edey. Where is he at now, and what's the plan with him? Where do we even think he can get to as a player in this league? After that, we got our therapy session. We're talking mattress shopping and insane DMs. Then we got our teams of the week, and to wrap it all up, our starting five draft of players high school coaches would love, with a special twist for the sixth man. Let's ride. Well, folks, you made it another week. We are back, the Real Hoop Hours show. We're talking hoops today. We got my man Heem right here. I am Slim Dookie, a.k.a. Nick, or Nick, a.k.a. Slim Dookie, whichever one it is. But we got a jam-packed show, and we got to get into it. And we got to start it off with Good Morning NBA. And Heem, I believe you have some incredible NBA news for us.
Oh, yes. Only the best of NBA news. And I do want to talk about some baby mama drama that I think would
best kind of
very
drama.
much. Oh, yeah. Brandon Ingram and Anfernee Simons, the battle of the light skins, both found a way to have the same baby mother, and it turned into the greatest basketball moment we've ever seen. Nick, did you get to see the games between the Pelicans and the Trailblazers?
Dude, I didn't watch the whole game, but I do know how it ended. And there were some wild words exchanged after a shot was made. I don't even want to spoil. I want to let you tell the story because the way you told it on TikTok was incredible.
Yeah, see, so what happened is Brandon Ingram, just like every other NBA player, had a baby with a woman that had no business having a baby with him. And that woman ended up leaving him for Anfernee Simons. And Anfernee Simons then goes and has a baby with that woman. And for what I know in my extensive research, Anfernee didn't do a damn thing to Brandon Ingram but be alive and have the same baby mother. And it led to Brandon Ingram having literally with the game winding down, he had a ISO opportunity, but called for the screen for Anfernee to come over and guard him just so he could make a game winner over the top of his head for a game. And for some reason, right, if you did not know this story, you wondered, why are the Pelicans celebrating so much? It's a game winner, but they're losing their minds. And Trey Murphy said the wildest things, just the wildest sentence I think you could ever say in your life. Of tell her who better after making a game winner. Tell her who better is an insane sentence to say after a game winner to a dude that did nothing. Anfernee Simons didn't do a single thing to anybody, Nick. He's living his life just like everybody else, and this is what he gets.
I don't understand the hatred of just like she left, you left her, or she left you, like whatever. You had a child with her, yeah. So she left Bi. It has to be. It has to be, right? It would be crazy if we found out that like he left her. It was like, I don't want you. Like, sure, I'll pay child support, but like I don't want anything to do with y'all. And then he's just like sour about it. That would be crazy.
That seems like a very Michael Jordan way to go about things.
For real.
Of like, let anything piss you off.
Yeah, just anything makes it personal, take you to the next level. But that is crazy, bro. And the fact that like everyone on the Pelicans knew about it and like knew that he wasn't cool with it. That's why they went crazy after he hit the shot. And the tell her who better is nuts. That's crazy, bro.
Insane.
That's crazy.
You know what's funny? I could imagine being in that locker room, right, and being the dude that doesn't understand what's happening. And everybody's on the bench and just being like, God, hey, call the switch. And then he's like, why is he calling? Why is he? Why is he doing this? And then they're all
You
losing
think Willie
their mind.
Green knew? You think Willie was just like,
he had to know.
All right. He's like, we like the matchup, but sure, whatever. Get Anfernee on you. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's already a good matchup. That's the funny thing about it. If it was like
who was
Giannis,
on him before the switch?
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I remember. Cause I gotta look the play up one more time. But
I'm about to find it.
It was the ideal defender for BI. I forgot. Was it Matisse? Was it Matisse? That would make sense.
Matisse is a good, but he's a good defender.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm not fully sure if he's on the team right now. But
yeah, I'm just saying that because I think he is. Honestly, like Matisse Thybulle could be a very below average defender right now, and I'd still be like, Philly, he was good.
Yeah, he has DeJounte Murray syndrome, where we don't really know if he's a good defender anymore. We just know he used to be one. So it's like, F it. I guess he's still a good defender.
Yeah, DeJounte was good. I still would have guessed that DeJounte Murray's good.
Yeah, but the switch on Anfernee was a good basketball play on BI's part. But the celebration after over a woman that left him when he has millions and millions and millions of dollars is insane because I wouldn't even act that way in a pickup game. I couldn't imagine acting like that in the NBA game. My Lord, brother. It can't be that serious.
It was Jeremy Grant. So I guess that was a good switch. That's definitely a good switch. That's a good switch, but
good basketball.
Let's see who else is on the floor. You could have got Ayton on you.
Yeah, also for coaching wise, I forgot Chauncey Billups. There you go, coach for Trailblazers. Why is Anfernee on the floor? You have to know the situation. Was it
straight out of a timeout?
It from what I remember, it was out of timeout.
Blazers had 2 timeouts as well. You can just not.
You got.
I guess we're going the other way. Yeah, I don't know if you hope you can hide him because Anfernee's not a good defender.
Yeah.
From what I remember, at least I haven't. Truth be told, haven't watched a full Trailblazers game this year. Sorry, everyone.
Hey, disclaimer. Disclaimer. We have not watched a ton of Trailblazers basketball.
Trailblazers fans have to be really mad. There's always like a niche pocket of fans that are just gonna be like, "What? Like, you didn't know that our 13th guy off the bench like shot over 38 from 3 in the G League last year?" I'm like, sorry, I must have missed that one. I will say I do know a lot of those guys. Weirdly enough, that is kind of my wheelhouse.
I will say somebody got mad at me in one video because I said that the Trailblazers have Jarris Walker, said Jabari Walker, or was it Jabari?
I think.
See, that's the thing.
Hey, be careful.
Okay, good. Because they got mad at me. He's like, Jarris Walker's on the Pacers. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you right now, all of it's mixing these days. And
yeah,
but I will say, congratulations, Brandon Ingram, on showing her who's better on the TV you paid for. I hope it really showed it to her. And I don't think she left Anfernee. From what I've seen, she's still with Anfernee Simons right now.
All right.
And then they played another game after that. She still is with Anfernee Simons. So I don't know what changed after that. Trey Murphy is just an instigator. That's what he's here to do, is cause problems. And honestly, I gotta live with it.
Yeah, tell her who he is. So crazy. That's so crazy, bro. Who better.
It'd be so funny if like,
I don't know anything about Anfernee Simons, like as a person. I know he's a bucket and he's gonna get paid next year, I believe. But imagine he's just like a really good like boyfriend, like father. Mm-hmm. Just like really like connects with her, and like they're like say they get like married or something, and just BI is just sizing him up and just like I'm better. just hates him forever. Just like BI is only locked in like 3 times a year when the Pelicans play the Trailblazers, and he gets to ISO Anfernee for the whole game. Other than that, he's just on Pluto, actively for the whole game.
Yes, I will say Anfernee is taking people's baby mothers, so he can't be that good of a person. He is stealing them in broad daylight from other.
Who are these women? That's my thing. Sorry, I'm crunching on ice while we do a podcast.
Yeah, no,
poor decision on my part.
No, there's a circle of women that stay in between the NBA circles. They kind of just throw it back and forth like a volleyball, and it pretty much is just whoever doesn't want to pass it anymore. You know,
Yeah,
whoever just is like, I'm shooting this. Whoever they take that baddie off the market, and then that he put another one into circulation. Most of the time, it's like the son of a the daughter of an NBA coach or something. Throw her in there. It's the same cycle. It's it's beautiful to see, honestly. But I don't
there was like a
understand how
cougar crisis for a while, right?
Oh
LaMelo?
yeah, LaMelo.
Yeah, like all these like 22, 23. Wasn't PJ Washington one of those dudes too?
Yes, there was
Like
literally
40-year-old women.
Yeah, there was an influx in cougars in the market. Totally, the inflation through the roof. All of a sudden now,
what drives
anybody
value?
can pop in here.
It's demand, baby.
Yeah.
What is it? Supply and demand. If there's a low supply and a high demand, cougars are valuable now, man. Just pump a little into the market, show everyone that, hey, this could be good. Now they all want one.
See, hey, but for some reason, the cougar market went back down. So I'm kind of confused on
it's a fad.
What happened here. Yeah, it's a fad.
It's like moon shoes. Moon shoe. Hey, if you listen to the first episode, you know we're a moon shoes podcast.
Big moon shoes dudes, you know.
Moon shoes had high demand, and then people bought them and then realized that they weren't that great. And then,
we figured out that moon shoes and cougars are the same. That's how it is.
Maybe they realized, like, man, maybe I don't want to date a 40-year-old woman as a 22-year-old. Or the 40-year-old women were like, man, dating 22-year-old men is not fun.
It does look off also.
It looks weird, but it's like,
isn't Jalen Green with?
Yes, Jalen Green was another one.
So it's still going on. What are we doing?
I don't know.
The Cougars came in and taken the game.
I mean, it's just like, dude, it's like if you're a 40-year-old woman dating like a 21, 22-year-old, you're kind of just his mom now. And he hooks up with you. That's it. Because you're probably just taking care of him. Because this is a 22-year-old that was in high school living with his parents, went to college for 1 year where he had a cafeteria and like all the athletic facilities for people to take care of him in the world. And then he's just in the world with millions of dollars.
Room dirty as hell.
That's what I'm saying. So he's probably playing video games and you're cleaning his room, you're cooking his meals, and you're sleeping with it. And that's your life.
That's your life right there.
You're Oedipus. I don't know how many Greek literature fans we got out there, but
I think we now understand why.
Yeah.
We know why Brandon Ingram got left now. So
yeah.
But we will transition.
The show must go on, as they say.
Now it's time for our favorite segment. The segment that everybody's here for. I'm not gonna say everybody, but Real Hoop Hours, the name of our shows. Yeah, exactly. Most people. You know, where we get nerdy. A part of the broadcast that we really just sit here and throw out NBA terms and have fun. And for this week's topic, we got Zach Edey, who is a NBA nerd's nightmare / dream. I don't know how this happened to Zach, but Nick, I did want to give you a questionnaire that I do want to go through for Zach Edey because a lot of people are questioning what he really can bring to an NBA team. And the first thing I want to ask you is, how good is Zach Edey going to be as a rim big, do you think, in the NBA? Shot blocker also.
Oh, like a rim defender?
Mm-hmm. How good of a rim defender do you see him being in the NBA?
I think he already is a good on-ball post defender. If he's there, you know, he's going to make a play. He's going to affect the shot, whether he's blocking the shot or just affecting it in some way, shape, or form. And that can also mean on non-attempts. And this is why I'm not a big defensive rating and all these advanced stats that show like when the shot does go up. I'm like, okay, well, what about the shots that don't even go up? Because I'm not a big Rudy Gobert guy personally, but I think that when you start to factor in like how many shots does he deter, that can even further the Rudy is an elite, you know, paint protector, rim protector type dude.
So just to make sure,
yes,
just make sure you think Zach Edey is more or less going to be a deter, not really more or less as a premium shot blocker.
Well, it's just when he's there. I think he is a good shot blocker when he's there. There's no question about his instincts, about his timing, about his, length, his ability to just block a shot or affect a shot and just have your hand in the right spot. But the question to me is, when he's having to rotate over, is he going to be quick enough to get there? And if you don't know, if I need to explain it, it's the NBA is so different from college basketball in that aspect for mainly two reasons. The first one is defensive 3 seconds. You can't be in the paint as a defender for longer than 3 seconds at a time as a defender, just being able to camp out there like he could in college. That's why he was always there, because it's like he never had to go out. But now he's got to stay outside of the paint. He's got to toe tap a little bit and just tap that foot outside of the paint. And the other thing is the 3-point line is further away. So if he does have to be a lot, it's a lot. So if he does get switched, or even he's just guarding a 5 that you have to be worried about, which that's a lot of 5s today, a lot. No matter if it's a small ball 4 playing the 5 or just your traditional 5-man, like we got Jonas Valanciunas out here shooting threes, like getting up like 3 or 4 a game. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if he's been doing that in Washington, but he did it in New Orleans. They were like, fire away, JV.
It's Washington. He wants to.
I mean, how much worse
Jordan
can it
Poole
get?
shooting too many.
I guess
when
so.
Kyle Kuzma was shooting 5 in the first quarter, not many left for everybody else. But I will say I fully agree with you when it comes to the rim protection. I personally have a strong hate for stationary shot blockers, but Zach Edey, I'm trying to understand it. Right? Everybody, to explain my system for shot blockers, I have rotational shot blockers versus stationary shot blockers. Rotational shot blockers, more athletic, rangy dudes that are great shot blocking shots when they're in motion, versus stationary
rotation
shot
guys.
blockers. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Like
go ahead.
dudes like Jaren Jackson Jr. Is one of them. Anthony Davis is another really good. Nick Claxton. There you go.
Yeah.
Dudes that are really good when they're moving. They can block shots really well because they have really good timing and they have discipline. Versus stationary shot blockers are extremely good at going up and down when they're already in the spot. And they're very bad when they have to move into a shot block. That's when they get undisciplined, bring their arms down, or just chest up with people unnecessarily. And Zach is very much a stationary shot blocker at the moment. And that's something that I'm hoping over time, especially with the defense of 3 seconds, forcing him to be in and out. Hopefully, over time, he becomes a better rotational shot blocker. But it's kind of hard because Jaren Jackson Jr. is already one of the best rotational shot blockers in the NBA. So they might not be asking him to do that. But I do want him to.
You're going to have to.
Yeah,
like
regardless.
Everyone, the bottom line in the NBA is like, you can be really good at something. And granted, Rudy is a guy who does both. AD is a guy who does both of those things. Like he can, guard ball. I don't think Rudy's that as good of an on-ball post defender as AD is, but I put them both in that same category of like, yeah, they're, if you're just trying to gather and he's already there and you're going straight up and just trying to take it into his chin, like, yeah, you're going to have a hard time whether he's rotating over or if he's already there. But like, you have to do a little bit of both. It's a plus if you can do one really well, or you can do both really well. But I think, especially in the NBA, you have to be able to, if you're going to be a rim protector, you need to be a guy who can rotate over and make that play. If that's going to be your calling card as a rim protector, you got to have that in the bag. Because as we move on here, we're going to go down this checklist of like, 1, is he this guy now? 2, will he ever be this guy? Can he ever be this guy? And I don't know if Zach is ever going to be the rotate over and clear something off the glass and like essentially erase a mistake that the Memphis defense has made by letting up a layup, whether it's someone getting blown by or getting back cut. I don't know if Zach's quick enough, and I don't know if he will ever be quick enough on his feet. He's 24, right? 24, 25?
He's actually, so surprisingly, he's 22.
Is he 23? He's 22. Oh, okay, shoot.
I was surprised too. I actually thought
he was a COVID year guy. Yeah.
No, it's because he was young going into college. He went to IMG, so everybody. Okay.
Well, yeah, young and maybe he will get a little quicker, but I feel like it's not a matter of inches. It's a matter of like a foot or so of like he's that late getting to guys. I mean, shoot, guys have had to deal with Wemby for a year. Zach Edey is not as oppressive as Victor Wembanyama is in terms of rotating over and erasing mistakes at the rim.
So just to make sure, just to clarify, right now we don't have Zach Edey as much of a rotational shot blocker, but at the moment we do think he's gonna be a pretty good stationary dude that's already there, up and down, because he's also a stocky dude. Like,
yeah, he's big.
Like, he's not a small dude in any way possible, which is impressive for 7'4". And I was leading right to what the next question I was about to ask you is post defense, and that's something I'm excited for Zach. I will say that he's a very niche player by this point. Of I need this dude against Jokic and Joel Embiid, and personally, I think he's gonna be a good post defender right now. And it's all a matter of just learning the game from here. But I do want to hear how you feel about it.
I mean, I think if those guys are in the post, then he'll be all right. But if I'm Philly or I'm Denver, I am getting some sort of two-man game going and letting Jokic or Embiid catch in space, whether it's mid-post or behind the three-point line, and being like, guard him. We don't think that this guy can, and he's going to get played off the floor because we know that is Jokic a great three-point shooter, like generational or excellent, I'll say. Like, no, he's a good three-point shooter, and if you're going to leave him, he's going to make some shots. But like all we know, it's just all it takes is that little baby pump fake from Jokic to get you leaning forward just a little bit. And then he gets you on his hip and you're toast. You're going to foul him. Or you're going to let him score.
That quarter of a pump fake is strong as hell, I will say.
Dude, and his jab steps crack me up.
Yeah.
Like this like little pump fake where he just kind of looks at the rim and starts to move his hand upward and takes that little negative step with his pivot foot. And then it's like his chest starts going and his head catches up afterwards. I love it when Jokic does that.
Every time somebody says like Jokic plays basketball like a kid in playing in a pool, that is what kicks in every single time. Is that little negative step, and he blasts off it so well for a dude that's not that athletic. Like he just because that's something that I think Zach is going to be really tough for him is quickness, and that's why I was like Jokic. He doesn't even look quick. Yeah, and that's where it's like I think he's going to be good in the post, like you're saying, though. Two-man game, getting him in motion. I do say Embiid might be a really good matchup for Zach for the simple fact that Joel Embiid has amazing feet, but there's also a lot of times where it's the complete opposite. Good call. But there's also a ton of times where it's the complete opposite for Embiid, where he gets very lazy and then he just runs into people. And the thing about Zach is that he's really good at just not selling a foul, and the fact that he looks so completely out of the play. He's just throwing his hands up, and he's not even trying to block a shot. He did that at Purdue, and it was something that was very subtly really good. He's
gotten very good at not fouling. He's really good at not fouling.
He used to be so bad at that.
But yeah, I think that in the post he's already a good defender, but against the elite bigs of the NBA, like all those guys can catch out in space and still work on you from out there, whether they want to get to the rim or shoot it. You know, like
a Bam Adebayo is gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. Jokic is gonna be tough, and Embiid's gonna be tough. I want to see the Şengün Edey matchup. That's gonna be interesting because let us not forget that Şengün Alperen put up 40 something on Wemby last year, and then he broke his ankle.
Crazy disrespectful, mind you.
Dude,
like 20 of those points were unnecessary.
I was drooling over that tape, bro. Just oh my gosh. Alperen, work on him. Just a third pump fake and another reverse pivot inside hand lay. Oh my gosh.
Honestly, your career goes up with Alperen Şengün. I will admit, every day you look smarter. So when he becomes an MVP, you can be there.
I've been really good at calling fairer skinned, not unathletic, but just fairer skinned, maybe not traditional big men if they're going to be good or not. Because I have hit on Jay Huff. I called that
That's
I was
a
like,
real pull.
I said J Huff is going to have a good year in Memphis because I really wasn't on the Zach Edey train. And I remember saying in a video, my tired take is that J Huff is going to have an undeniably good year for a two-way player. My wired take is that his per 36 numbers are going to be better than Zach Edey's. And so far, so good on that one.
Yeah, so far, but
he looks better. He's better per 36. He is better.
Look, I've been big on the Zach Edey stock. If anybody that's watched my draft coverage, I had Zach Edey as a top 10 player in the draft. And so far, I still feel okay on that. Okay is the word I want to use because I forgot how slow his feet was. Even when watching over tape at Purdue, you don't understand how many situations he didn't have to close out. And Memphis is making a move. But I think that's a good thing because I do want to get you to the next part of perimeter defender. Because this is the big issue. This is the one that is supposed to be in front of his face, something that he needs to work on. But we know that he's not a good perimeter defender right now. My question to you, because this is where I feel we feel very different, is do you think at some point he's going to be at least a decent perimeter defender?
For his position, I guess I'm assuming that's the question.
Definitely for his position.
I'd still say no. I just in order to be convinced, I'd have to see him lose weight. He's got to lose weight. I know he's 7 foot whatever, but he can't be that like thick, broad. Yeah. I mean, because he's a big dude. His build, for being 7 foot whatever, his build is still for him to be that size. But in the modern NBA, he can't be that slow. He can't be that big. Like he can be, but you can't move like that. You can't have like you can't have cinder block feet, even as a 5-man. Like he has significantly worse feet than Jonas Valanciunas, and Jonas Valanciunas has bad slow feet.
Very much.
Like, and his are significantly worse. I'd say JV is probably the worst you can be. A lot of Valanciunas mentions in this episode. Just wanted to point that out.
Big Valanciunas guys here. So
yeah, exactly. Hey, 15 and 10 every game, guaranteed. JV, gotta love it.
Good basketball. Right
I just think that, I'd have to if I could see him slim down a little bit, because step one is make it easier on yourself. Obviously, like we've seen his feet get significantly better since his freshman year at Purdue. He doesn't move like a big toddler anymore necessarily. He's more like a big 10-year-old, big 10, 12-year-old now. But
there we go.
I don't know. If he lost weight, I could be talked into it.
Okay. Well,
because do your motor skills get better, bro? Do your motor skills get that much better after 22?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm a believer.
I mean,
I believe, Nick. Let me be the last person on this planet that believes that Zach Edey is a perimeter defender. I've been preaching this for a year and a half now, and I'm going to seem like an absolute madman, but I'm getting codes in from D'Antoni, and he's telling me to believe. All right. I am getting mental transmissions from D'Antoni. He's telling me to believe in Zach Edey because they say he's in the gym work on his shot, and they're also telling him that this year is for him to learn how to be more of a mobile big. And Memphis is gonna literally try to get him in the gym and put him in situations that is a rep base improvement.
That's fair.
Right? Which I personally believe in. I've always said this for Jaren Jackson Jr. He was somebody that improved immensely as a shot blocker from rep-based training. Sometimes you just need to go out there and learn.
Here's a question.
I believe. There you go.
Boban Marjanovic.
Oh, God.
I believe there's a similar thought process with Boban, especially around his rim protection of like, hey, you're a big dude. We know that you can, if you're there, you can go straight up and you can affect a shot. Did he get any better as a rotational rim protector, as a perimeter defender?
I will say Zach Edey to me is a little bit of a better athlete than Boban, at least.
Yes,
I
correct.
can give him Boban. And I think for Zach, a lot of it is effort, right? And the thing is that at Purdue, because he used to play a ton of minutes, offensively and defensively, having a workload. I think when we're talking about Memphis, 20 minutes per game, and you telling Zach to play his ass off, I personally think there's going to be some guards that are going to struggle to get around him if he's playing his ass off and he really commits to it. He commits to being at the rim. I mean, on the perimeter. Sorry, what am I talking about? If he really commits to it,
just hey, I'm not going to give you space. I'm just going to sit down and try to guard and let y'all go at me.
And the best way I see it is funneling. Is trying to force some baseline, try to get him into a position where he can possibly get back on the glass. That's what I see in his future, right? But I also do see a dude that can just effort-wise improve. And that's why whenever I watch Zach, I do see potential there because I do see an effort issue rather than a athletic issue. But I do understand what people just
I think he's giving it his all. I think that's what he's got.
See, that's the issue. I don't think he is. I've seen it so many times. Now,
is he tired? He played like 40 minutes a game at Purdue, 20-minute halves. He never came off the floor.
Right now, he's giving it his all, but he's a rookie. All right, so he has no clue what's happening, and Purdue never put him in these type of positions, right?
Yeah,
so it's gonna look bad for now. I'm okay with looking crazy for now, but I see a vision, and that's where I. Again, nobody. I mean, every time I say this, everybody calls me stupid. I mean, every single time. But I'm gonna stand on this until Zach Edey's confirmed a garbage perimeter defender. But Nick,
hey, I'll never call you stupid, Heem. I don't talk to my friends like that.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. I wish some of my followers cared like that. But
hey, followers are not your friends. Hey, if that's one thing that I've learned from making content in the basketball spaces, that your followers are not your friends. There's a few who might be, but for the most part, I got dudes who follow me just to like hate comment everything I do. I'm like, bro, you're like, I can't believe I'm seeing this garbage again. I was like, you follow me.
First 3 minutes.
What do you mean you can't believe it? I can.
This shit's been out for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and you got 3 comments out. What are you talking about right now?
The same dude. Oh my gosh!
I
got like
ops. But I do want to flip the conversation back to the offensive side now.
Yes,
because this is why Zach Edey is such a wonderful topic, is because this whole thing about him shooting and him having shooting touch. This to me is like conspiracy theories, and every single basketball dude that believes Zach Edey as a shooter. And Nick, I will say you are on a podcast with one. It is like a basketball conspiracy theory. And I believe, but at the same time, man, he does not have a like comfortable grip of the ball.
He's shooting with a Nerf ball, dude.
A good shooter. Yeah, it's
just like it's like me shooting this mic right here.
Yeah. See, my hands are just too big. He has a nice follow through though. He looks comfortable when it comes to the follow through. It's just his actual like grip of the ball is terrible.
I gotta look at it. I'll say this. Here's my thoughts about him shooting the ball. Even if he can become an effective like 3-point shooter, why do you want him out there? Because like I think a lot of guys, if you see potential of them becoming a stretch big. Like, sure, if there's an action that happens and there's no need for the big to roll and clog up the paint, you kick it, he's there, cool, then he can knock down a shot. That's the Valanciunas vision. But it's like it's not like he's catching, and then if he's shooting it, he's shooting it. But if he pump fakes, then the possession is dead. Like, he's not pump faking and then putting the ball on the floor. He's either shooting it or he's pump faking and passing. Or he's just passing right away. So, and the thing is like, he's not. We keep coming back to Valanciunas. I just got him in my. I feel like he's a decently comparable guy, but like Valanciunas, it's not like we want him down low all the time because he's such a big force on the glass. I mean, he is a good force on the glass offensive rebounding, but Edey is more of that. And Edey
Yeah.
is like this, hey, if he has good position, throw him the ball. If he has a dude sealed and he's got a foot in the paint, throw him the ball.
See,
even if he's just going up with a hook from like 7 feet out, even if he gets pushed from 4 feet from the basket to 8 feet, that hook is still a very high percentage. It's just like,
definitely.
Do we want him hanging out on the perimeter more? Or
we don't want
rather
him hanging. Yeah, definitely not hanging out there. Hell no.
We don't want Zach hanging.
No, I don't like him hanging anything.
Yeah.
We know he's past. But one of the things that I will say about Zach, when it comes to shooting bigs that aren't particularly good off the dribble, the vision is pick and pop, come off, guard gets in the paint, throw it to big. If he doesn't have a shot, pump fake straight into a dribble handoff. This is something the Miami Heat do a lot with Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, DHO stuff.
Is just DHO immediately, where Zach can make a decision immediately, be like, okay, I'm not going to shoot this. Go straight to a DHO with Desmond Bane or John Morant. Them going downhill,
and then he's rolling.
Big ass screener with Zach roll. So it's using the fact that he can shoot to bring a big out and have that big moving all over the place, dealing with the DHO and then a roll again. So there's a vision there where at least having the shot is going to be good. And that's where, to me, I want him to at least have it.
Dude, his jumper doesn't look bad because I remember seeing it. Like, the motion is fine. The follow through is okay. I'll say, like, Boban had a good jump shot. Like, he could knock down shots, and his hands are too big to go like true, four to the floor, as they say, hand in the cookie jar. If your hands are that big, you kind of just have to, it's got to be like all wrist and just fall off your fingers like that with your fingers pointed straight. And that's what his jump shot looks like for the most part.
Zach Edey has an NBA live jumper, as I like to call it.
He's got the generic by player jumper, bro.
Yeah, I want to say, like, he legit has a good motion and it's a good follow through, but like you can tell he's gripping the damn ball, and it's just like if it makes it too robotic at times, but he has a good flow to his jumper. That's where I see
his shooting
potential.
motion is good. Yeah,
like
I said, my thought is like, do you even how much do you want him out there? But
very much.
I like the DHO point, but it comes down to like that's more moving around for him. How conditioned can he be? How mobile can he be?
Yeah.
And if you want him to really lock in on the defensive end, do you want him out on the perimeter and running around and like having to, fill spots on the perimeter and, go into dribble handoffs and roll? It's like, or do you want him just posting hard when he's on the strong side and sitting in the dunker spot waiting for one of their, the Grizzlies' few like athletic guards to get downhill and throw him a lob or drop something off for him?
Yeah. And that's why the next section it kind of is just going to bring it back to what you're saying of, do I even want him on the perimeter? Do I want him as a post big? And do I want him to be focused on finding positioning to get easy baskets for the Grizzlies? And I will, this is why I'll concede to you, you have a way better idea when it comes to that than me. I will admit, one of the things in basketball I'm not good at is understanding how to get bigs in position to take advantage of situations, or when it comes to block, right? I don't understand exactly how to get a big there when it comes to positioning, when it comes to setups, especially with a dude like Zach Edey. And that's where it's rough for me. I'll
say, like, a guy like Zach, if you're running, I mean, shoot, dude, if you want to use him as a screener, then like, that's going to be a tough, like that. Zach Edey is a very good big. If you can get him serviceable on the defensive end, you can do a lot of Spain stuff with Zach Edey of just like roll and replace or like a back screen for a lob. And I mean, he's so damn big that a lot of centers aren't going to be able to keep him from just like, walking into him and then turning and sealing and just presenting and be like, throw me the ball. I'm 8 feet out. Let me take my 2 dribbles to the middle of the floor. And he is a great playmaker. I mean, that's one thing always given him his flowers on. I'm pretty critical of Zach Edey, but when he is in the post, he knows when to give it up. Of like, hey, even if he feels like I can still go over these two guys, but it's like, okay, well, he went to Purdue where they just surrounded him with 5 white guys or 4 white guys that could shoot, and just like let him just get to the middle. He would pick up his dribble. If guys were sucked in, he's just finding dudes wherever, and if they weren't, he's putting up a right-handed hook. But
there you go.
They could still use him in a lot of like, I think we call it point action. I think it's just called point action, but it's when you have that one big around the free throw line, pinch post area, and he's stepping out to the 3-point line and presenting, catching the ball, and then you have action going on off of that. Whether it's like you can go into zoom action, which is the down screen for the dribble handoff. You can go into Warriors. The Warriors go into point, and they just do a lot of split screen of just like you pass and you screen away, and it can either be you can deny it, you can come off it, you can curl it, all that stuff. And he's a good playmaker. He will be able to make reads off of that. But I think as long as he's ending up, at the rim the vast majority of the time, you can have him out there. And of course, the other side of that is conditioning. But
definitely.
Yeah, I like him as a post big. I think he needs counters. Like one thing I love about Şengün is that he sells you on 3 different things before he even gets to the pump fake, like he's going to post you up and then he's turning his shoulders forward like he's about to, just drive hard and try to finish on that side of the middle. And then he takes one dribble hard that way. And then he's stopping, dropping his shoulder a little bit just to go back to the original side he was going, pump, and then pump fake you anyways. I don't know if that visual or that explanation made any sense for a visual.
Yeah,
but
no, I mean, I got it. I will admit that.
A little drawn out.
I watched enough Şengün to see that he does it like 3 times every few games.
I'm yapping at this point, but you get what I'm saying. I think he needs to add a little more, but I could see it happening. It's like, is he there right now? No, but can he get there? For sure. That's an area I'm like, he can 100% grow in that area. And then, shoot. Like, if he presents in that point action and he catches and faces and they're not stepped up, let it fly, big fella. If you got it.
Let it fly. Come on, you hoping. Let it fly. Yeah. That's why I need him to get in the gym. Because personally, I personally, one of my favorite plays is from the Trailblazers. Terry Stotts uses a lot with CJ and Dame. It's a right wing flare screen. And they use it a lot with Nurkic.
CJ was a flare merchant for like 3 years, bro.
Oh my God. That he ate off that flare play, and they used to have Nurkic at the top of that. And because Nurkic was so sturdy, you literally would have to switch to big, or if CJ was open every single time. Yeah. And one of the things that I love about that play is that it allows the big to get an opportunity to either slip or roll off of that very easily.
Because he can just turn and play with him too. If he fights, if the dude gets around the screen somehow and you don't get the switch right away off the flare, or if he's not open, it's like, just turn and follow ball screen, and you got a naked side ball screen.
Oh yeah. And on top of that, if the guard reads his defender well enough and they go over the top too much, you can just cut off the back of that. Then the screen defender is gonna have to, the center in that position is gonna have to drop back. You go ahead and drop it off to the center. Now he's going downhill, and that's a foul a lot of times in the NBA.
Zach Edey with a full head of steam is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, there we go. But Zach, overall report card, I gotta say, right now how we're looking is post defender. We're good on that. We believe in him now and in the future. Rim big. This is where the question is when it comes to him being a rotational big. But right now, stationary, do we agree that we can believe in him? Stationary, feet set.
Yep.
Shot blocker.
He's good now. We'll continue to improve.
There we go. Then we go in perimeter defense. This is definitely where we differ. But do you see the potential, at least, on that side for him?
No. And also, I don't know.
Yeah.
I may have been confused. I don't think he's going to be. I think he'll get better as a rotational shot blocker. I don't think he'll get to where he needs to be to stay on the floor. Truly, I don't
very
believe.
Much. Okay, and I respect that definitely. Again, we're talking to a big Zach Edey believer right here, so I'm trying my best.
And I'm
to
a hater.
keep it.
To be real, I'm not a hater. I just don't believe. I'm just like, I've seen this story.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
and that's why we have a podcast together right here.
Amen.
The flip to the offensive side. As a post big, I see the potential there. I very much see the potential there, and so that one we're good on. But the shooting part, this is where really ideologies, really of how we want to use Zach, is really only our difference here. Is we see the potential.
Honestly, you convinced me. I'm like, yeah, I think it can work if he can become like just like 35-ish%, like even 34 of like, yeah, he's serviceable. You can't just leave him
7'4", man. That's big.
Then it's just if he can be conditioned enough, honestly, to be able to be out there and running up and down the floor and guarding and then moving around on the perimeter on offense. It's like he's only playing like 20 minutes a game, but it's like you didn't draft him to play 20 minutes a game. You didn't draft to play like 18 to 22. You drafted him because you want him to start eventually.
Yeah.
It's like all those dots start connecting. Like maybe he needs to get a little trimmer. Maybe we need to get him on the agility, on the ladder drills. I don't know, but
there we go. All right. You know what? And that wraps us up for Real Hoop Hours.
All right, folks, we got a therapy session. And for those of you who don't know, this is when we do a little bit of maybe some venting, maybe some sharing something about our personal lives that's been affecting us. And we got these fun little basketball names for each one. What do you got? What do you got today for us, Heem?
Yes, today I have an offensive foul where somebody did me wrong, and all I did was sit there for the charge and took the contact. And I will say this happened to me 2 days ago. I was in the market for a mattress, Nick. I finally got some money in my pocket. I was like, you know what? Let me get a new mattress. I can feel the springs of my mattress right now. So I was like, okay,
it's tough.
Let's go ahead and let's ball out, right? I didn't understand what balling out meant for a mattress. And instead of going to the discount mattress stores or the places that are in the middle of literally nowhere that will sell you a mattress for half a cent, I decided to go to the nice mattress stores, and I walked in there with a budget of $1,000. I didn't know I couldn't even get a bed frame for $1,000 walking in a mattress store. I walked in, and I was like, and I'm walking in like big money, Nick. I'm like,
you got a band to spare?
Yeah. Hey, brother.
I never bought a mattress, so this is news to me.
Oh no, I'm telling you,
given a lot of mattresses.
I'm telling you, this killed me. I walk in like big money. I'm like, sir, show me the mattresses right now. And then he was like, oh, okay. Let me show you a real good one right now. This is Tempur-Pedic. You can go ahead. You're going to fall into the mattress. And then he was putting his hand in it and everything. And he was like, you see this right here? This is how you're going to sleep, sir. This is the mattress for you. And I was like, go ahead. Tell me the price right now. $8,000.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, what'd you say, sir? He was like, 8,000. And I guess
a good deal, right?
Yeah. I guess because of my demeanor walking in,
you seem like you're confident, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I'm way too confident. He literally thought that like 8,000 was nothing for me, and I asked him to repeat it, and I think he thought I was confident about that. So he's like, you know what? Let me show you something better. And I'm like, and I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, that's fine. And then he shows me the one with the temperature knobs on it. He's like, okay, yeah, but one side of the bed, it's cold. Then you can make this hot on this side. And he's flipping around the bed. He's all like, he thinks he has a sale. So he's sitting there. He's just like, wait, hold on. Let me show you this feature right here. And then I'm like, how much is this one? And my pride is sinking. And then he goes, 10,000, 10,000 right here. But hey, for you, it's on sale. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We're back down to 8,000. 9,000. I was like, okay, all right. Like, okay. I was like, sir. And then the thing was, he was like, wait a minute, I forgot to ask you, what's your budget for these mattresses? And I was ashamed. I didn't know what to say, Nick. I was like, I
What'd you
was
tell him?
above my head. Oh, I told him 2,000.
Okay, that's good. Double it. Be like,
Yeah.
man, I only have $2,000 to spend. I guess I'm, you know.
And he sat there and looked at me. He was like, and like he looked at me like I was insane. And I was like, yeah, I like 2,000. And he was like, oh, okay.
Dude, that's crazy. I
to-
didn't know mattresses were like that, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you. And the thing is, he took me over to the $2,000 mattresses. I could have gotten that shit from my grandmother. I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm like, brother. And he need all that enthusiasm he had gone. By the way.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he's just like thought he was about to get some good commission.
Yeah, hell no. I sat there and I looked at that $2,000 one. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. Honestly, I was like, yeah, I'm sinking pretty well in this. And then he's like, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I don't have much to say
at
about
all
it
anymore. Yeah,
oh, not at all. But then on top of it, but the worst part about it is I didn't actually have the money in my account because I had it transferred to the wrong account. So
you just wasted this dude's time. He's pissed, bro.
And the thing was, I checked my phone. I'm like, I'm about to pay for this mattress, and then I sit there and I'm like, hold on, let me check my Bank of America real quick. And then it says like 32 cents. No bullshit. And I'm like, oh my Lord. I was like, how do I tell this dude that I don't have the money? So what happened was I was like, all right, I got to come up with a plan to get out of here. This is where it turns from an offensive foul to this is 1,000% a smoke play.
Smoke play, yeah.
And where I sat there and like I was about to pull the maneuver and be like, hey, look over there, and just around the front door.
Just Tom and Jerry him.
Yeah, that's what that was the first idea. But then I was like, oh, I forgot my wallet in my car.
You didn't.
I had to do it, Nick. I had to do it. I went in my car and pulled it. I spit off. I see you walk out the front door.
Just looking around. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm dying.
He's like, what? And he's like, I see in my rear view, I'm speeding. I could have hit like 3 cars. I didn't care. I was getting out of there.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I swear to God, I can't even go to that side of the city no more.
That's crazy.
It was, I felt terrible, but I just didn't have the money. Like I didn't.
Dude, he's going to be looking for you like you're looking for Jason from Chipotle.
I'm about to say, this is how the circle of life goes. I have beef with somebody has beef with me. That dude's going to find me. And he's probably just stealing 2,000 from me next time. And I'm by the way, I'm no longer in the market for a mattress. I'm cool with the one I got. I just threw a comforter on, and I'm like, hey, we just got to rock out like that.
Mattress pads change lives, I must say.
I'm about to just do that, man. I
will say,
sorry
though,
to yeah, sorry.
Oh,
to
go ahead.
Dude, though.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I want to say sorry to Abdul. Yeah.
Shout out Abdul. If he's probably a listener, you know. He'll probably
Abdul,
hear this. He knows you're sorry.
If you're listening, don't hurt me, man. I life got the best of me. So Abdul, love you, man. But
happens to the best of us.
Go ahead.
I will say, I have a friend who does like Instagram comedy stuff. Shout out Tori. She's probably a listener. She probably listens. But she just like reached out and like she needed a mattress. And so she just texted, and she didn't have, it's like she's got like hundreds of thousands of followers. I think she's got somewhere like 20K on Instagram. And she just texted like this mattress, a handful of different mattress brands, and was like, hey, I'll make a video for you if you send me a mattress. And they're like, sure.
Oh, I'm doing that tomorrow.
Bro, they're like, a lot of these companies, especially like these online companies for things like mattresses, they're like, we need UGC, like user generated content. So they're like,
oh yeah.
If you got followers and there's potential that like your video about it, just be creative in the way you market it and like At least this Nectar company was like, sure, like, please, we need more stuff. Like, post it on your page and send it to us so we can post it as well. So.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I'm definitely doing that, yeah, because I'm not going to talk trash about my mattress. He's held me down for a long time. We're now 5 years deep, and they say to replace your mattress every 3 years. Oh yeah, that mattress has been through hell.
I'm not replacing mattresses every 3 years, bro.
Yeah. They say that, but they know nobody's doing that. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
I will say I have a dent. I have a dent where I sleep. Like, it's literally like I just call it like the crevice, because it's like where I sleep in the same spot every night. It's like this.
I didn't know it could do that.
Neither did I. I'm a big dude, but I'm not like huge. You know?
I got probably another year before that happens in mine, honestly. So.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let you get yours off, Nick. Go ahead and let off some steam, sir.
I got I'll call it an offensive foul. And this is one that, I think the other dude who committed the offensive foul really is like looking at the ref like no way. Like, he's got his hands on his head. Like, he's pleading with the ref. He's Lukaing the ref. But I'm going to pull up the screenshot. I put up a poll on my Instagram, or I put it on the Real Hoop Hours podcast page, and then I voted and I reposted it on my story, whatever. But the poll was, who would you rather have, Norman Powell or Isaiah Joe? I just thought it was interesting because for the past, however many years, my answer for a lot of guys like that, if you're comparing them to Norman Powell, I'm like, give me Norman Powell. It's a bucket
every single time.
Yeah, but Isaiah Joe has been playing really well the past year, and so far so good this year. I just think he's a really, really talented, like, movement shooter. He's like a 6'3", 6'4" Gabe Vincent, Gabe Vincent. But either way, I like him. I like his game a lot. I think he's not even bad off the dribble. Like, I think he is a shooter. He's just a pure shooter, but I just thought it was an interesting comparison. I wanted to see what other people thought. It was actually pretty even, but Isaiah Joe had the edge. This dude replies to my DM, and he says, "What the fuck you smoking?" with 3 crying, laughing faces, because on my story, I just said, I should have mentioned this. I said, I'm taking Isaiah Joe, and that's no disrespect to Norman. And obviously,
very normal,
depending on what situation you're in, one guy can look a little better. If I'm like, hey, I already have 2 scorers, 2 guys that can create for themselves, I need shooters. I'm a Mavs fan, so that's how I was thinking. Like, on this Mavs team, I'd rather have Isaiah Joe. Truly.
Very much.
Either way, he sends that, and I just responded to his question of what am I smoking. I said, Spalding leather. I was like, whatever. It's like, funny answer. He said, bro, I'm taking Norman Powell over Ant-Man right now. What? He said, athleticism aside, he's a more lethal bucket and way more consistent.
Wow.
Well,
wow.
You have, and this is, I'm going to call that an offensive foul. Also, he told me to go to meth streams. Well, and I after that, I said, all right, this convo just became so unserious. And he said, bro, go on meth streams and watch the next Clipper game. Guaranteed 25-piece over 50% from the field. Guaranteed. In Norman Powell's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons in the NBA, he has never averaged 25 points per game. He's actually only averaged over 20 points per game once. And I love Norman Powell. I think he is as talented of an offensive player as you can possibly be without being like a consistent starter on a team. Because he is, I think he's a starting level player, but on a championship caliber team, he's probably a 6-man type role. He could be a starter, but he's probably a 6-man second unit. He's not good enough to be taking the shots of your 2 best players, but really talented.
I will say, Nick, you don't. I feel say you don't have to justify you not agreeing with Norman Powell over Ant. So we love Norman Powell over here.
Yeah,
very much. but I'll let you keep going.
Yeah. So here's my question. One, the offensive foul of him coming at me with just so much heat of what the fuck you smoking?
What are you
and then
smoking?
to say right away, right after, that he's taking Norman Powell over Anthony Edwards. That is insane. And it's just, and really what it comes down to for me is less about this guy. Sure, maybe he's just an idiot. No offense. If you follow me, please keep following me and you'll get smarter about basketball.
There,
you'll learn things. Follow Big Hoop Gurus too. And listen to the podcast. But
there you
either way, dude, the audacity of a lot of just like basketball fans on social media in general to be so arrogantly confident about what they know is correct and to just come right at somebody's neck. It's like, look, that's probably a teenager or it's an adult with a very low IQ. At the end of the day, that's just what it is. Or someone who loves the Clippers with all of their heart and is just delusional. But like,
I will say,
go ahead.
As somebody that was a dumbass teenager, I will give you a take that I said. It might be better, it might be worse. I did say at some point that Trevor Ariza was better than Paul Pierce. I don't know where I came up with that. I checked my phone years later, and I said that.
That's crazy.
To one of my favorite basketball creators at the time, and he definitely didn't see it. And if he did, he was being a good person. And
I'm in the weeds though. That's me. I read everything. I really do. People like, oh, he missed it. And like, no, I saw it. Like, unless it goes super crazy, mega nuclear, like, and there's thousands of comments. Like, if I have a video with 30, 40 comments, I probably read all of them. Honestly, every single time.
Easily.
Like, I read them.
Very quick, too.
Yeah. And I respond to the ones I feel like merit a response. Or some of them don't merit a response, and I still respond anyways. But like,
Norman,
this is part of the problem, bro. Is like, you're a teenager, but your profile picture is like just some random shit, or like your favorite rapper or your favorite player,
SGA.
Exactly, and it's like man, imagine because if I knew you were like 12, then I just wouldn't respond, or I'd be nicer, but. If you are 12 or you're 18 or 16 or 15, like whatever, if you're a teenager or younger, consider this. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe the people, and there are some dumb older people, and there are some dumb basketball creators too, but maybe the people who, have somewhat centered their life around watching the game, like not everyone, but a lot of them, maybe they might have a little bit better of an idea of what's going on in the league, what goes on in basketball. Maybe they have played more basketball than you at high school, college, or at professional. Maybe they've coached more basketball than you. They've probably watched more basketball than you. They've probably had more conversations with other people that played professional, scouted in professional leagues. Coached, did skill development for pros. Like, maybe that's the case. And maybe instead of saying this is the case and you're wrong, maybe you should say, hey, this is what I think. What do you think? Do you think this is right?
I will say,
maybe
every basketball nerd hit their just absolute idiots. But the thing is, every basketball nerd hit their phase where they felt like they unlocked the key in their head to be like next level in basketball, right? And the funny thing about that phase is when it hits everybody, they say the wildest things they possibly could ever say. They get it out, and and I always say it's like usually when they get about 17, 18, those are the takes. Oh, that's why I'm glad I didn't start a hoop page at 17. I would have said the worst takes possible ruined my credibility. Absolutely ruined it, because that's when I just started to get that next level understanding, and you swear you're seeing the world from a different lens. And he saw Norman Powell play basketball, and he's like, people are wrong about this.
It's like it's also okay to just be like he's a really good player, but he's still not better than Anthony Edwards, dude.
No, Nick, he sees something past what we're seeing. He sees Norman Powell. You see Norman Powell. He sees an MVP right there. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what play Norman Powell did where he was like, I'm telling y'all right now, that give that man like star position. I guess. Wait, hold on. I get his argument now. This is everybody's favorite argument for a dude they think is like better than they actually are. Give them star possessions, and they would score 24, 25.
Make him the center of the offense.
That's probably. Yeah, see, that's where I think his argument is like, oh, well, if you gave Norman Ant's possessions, then Norman would be better than Ant. Obviously, we don't agree with that in any way possible. But as we're talking this out, I'm realizing that's where he would have went.
Yeah,
that's probably
and
the
it's
next
just
place
like,
he would have went.
And for people that maybe you're 18 and you're like, I think I really have this whole, like, I think I got the whole NBA thing figured out. But the reality is I think when I actually became more enlightened in the world of basketball is when I realized how little that I actually knew. Truly. Like, and that's the key. Exactly. And I mean, it's that way in most fields. And that's just kind of growing up and maturing in general, is realizing I really don't know a lot about this, because I can look at myself and just objectively say, like, in terms of the total world, yeah, I'm probably top 1% of understanding basketball as a whole. That's not crazy to say, because it is 1% is a couple of thousand people that are alive right now, you know, or a handful of thousand, maybe even, I don't know. I'm not a math guy regardless, but like, I still realize that the separation from me, maybe the bottom of the 1% to the top of the 1% is light years away. Truly. It is. It's so different. And like, and having a conversation, even just with like I talked to this one dude, he's a friend, but he never played in the NBA. He's like 5'7", played overseas, averaged 20 a game everywhere he went. Like Puerto Rico, Italy, Northern Africa, the Middle East. But like, talking to this dude about hoops makes me feel like an idiot. And when I have conversations with him, my thought process is, here's what I think. I need you to convince me if we have oppositional ideas, I need you to convince me why I'm wrong. And it's not going to be a heated argument where I'm trying to convince you. No, I'm just listening. And I'm going to ask questions, but I just want you to convince me, truly. And I wish that was more the discourse that happened in the basketball social media space, truly. Okay, well, that was our therapy session. We got a lot out, but we got to move on to Team of the Week. And this is where we will award a team with a real award. This is real. This isn't just some shit we made up. This is real. Team of the Week. We give a team every week in basketball. Doesn't have to be the NBA. It might be, but we give them an award for something that we have deemed as necessary that requires this award.
There we go.
Anyways, throwing it to him. Who is your Team of the Week?
Yes, for our second annual Team of the
Weekly?
Week. Yeah, well,
is it annual? Is like once per year, right?
Annually is year. Yeah, that's yearly. First one is there we go. Second week, Team of the Week will be going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 7-0. Teams pick the Cleveland Cavaliers. I personally, this is my team that I need them to always be good. Nick, the world is better when the Cavaliers are a good basketball team. Not because of the Cavs, but because of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland together. When they are both working well, that's amazing basketball.
It's fun to watch.
It's so fun to watch. And Donovan Mitchell also, side note from where I'm about to go, when he's doing well, he is probably one of the most unstoppable dudes possible, because he can make anything. He got that like Jamal Murray disorder where out of nowhere,
he is fun.
Everything goes in.
He is fun, and his game is very like, from a skill set aspect, he is very fun to watch. But We don't have to get too deep into this, but I put Donovan Mitchell in the same category of Paul George, which is they're really fun to watch and they look really cool. But do they really contribute that much to winning when it matters? Come playoff time.
But this is the thing about Donovan Mitchell, because the Cleveland Cavaliers last year against the Celtics. Do you remember that series? He was fighting for his life.
He was.
Oh yeah, it was. They
had a lot
so
of injuries
bad.
though, didn't they? Like it was pretty much just him taking like 30, 40 shots a game.
But that's the thing though. When they had Karras and Darius coming, they were back and it was healthy. They didn't make a single three for 3 quarters, and Donovan Mitchell had 6. And what I'm telling you is, when he's doing well, everything seems better than it is. But like, you look at the score, like they're still down 12. That's where I goes back to your point of like, it's like, is he even contributing at this point? But then I'm like, no, Donovan is like incredibly impactful. And that's why I love him. But the Cleveland Cavaliers in general have a like real weird issue at the 3-man when it comes to Isaac Okoro.
Yeah.
And it's a real issue.
Isaac Okoro is the most average player in the NBA. Changed my mind. He's so painfully average.
We can have a discussion on this, because
I like it.
I have a list, but
so
I'm gonna move on, because Isaac Okoro is what I mean is he's too bad to be like incredibly impactful where you need him on the floor, but he's too good to just be like, get him off my floor.
Yep.
Like, and that's where the Cleveland's problem is that they just got a good 3-man, where that could be Karis LeVert, but Karis LeVert forgets how to play basketball sometimes. So
have you seen the thing with the wheel? Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Every game, Karis LeVert just has a wheel of every NBA player in NBA history, and he spins it, and just whatever it lands on, he's like, "That's who I'm going to be today." I love that.
I've literally seen, like, the thing about Karis LeVert, having him on your basketball team means that you can literally count on him to give you 40 or 0, and it legit
somewhere in that range
happen. Legitimately, every single game, Karis LeVert has the potential to do nothing.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, he made one shot early in the game, and then he had 33. You're like, what is this? And that's a problem for the Cavs, because they can't count on that 3 position. And I've been asking for 3 years for them to fix that small forward position and just go out and spend some money. Max Strus was close, but he's purely a 2.
Yeah, he can play
like
the 3. He's just a rotation guy. You can't have him. I don't know if Max Strus plays starting minutes for your team and really moves the needle.
Yeah, not at all. And that's the thing, because at the 3, he wasn't a good defender. But I do like him at the 2 as a defender. And that's why I say, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're always going to be a good to great basketball team. But until they fix that small forward position, the reason why they're my team of the week is because it's not a problem at this moment. But we know it's going to be, because it always is. And Cleveland, I'm telling you this right now, go fix it. I don't need another year of Donovan Mitchell fighting for his life, and then y'all be, oh, what happened? As y'all lose for no reason. Please go fix that 3 position. But y'all are still my team of the week, though.
Yeah, Kenny Atkinson is a very good head coach. I don't think Bickerstaff was terrible, but it was just boring to watch. He's just like, we're going to guard and give the ball to Donovan. And Kenny's like, maybe we should pass a little bit.
Let's think about it. JB Bickerstaff loved Darius Garland, though, and he put him in a lot of really good positions. I got to give him that. JB's another one of those coaches where I was like, I never sat there and was like, he's messing this game up. But I can't say a lot of times where I'm like, I saw some really good adjustments from him. So I understood moving on. But sometimes it's hard to find an average coach. So I was a little on the fence. But
yeah. Hey, Emoni Bates put on like 25 pounds of muscle in the offseason. He's a 3.
My boy, too.
And I thought he was about to be the truth, bro.
Hey,
and
then he out there.
Pulled the John Moran. I don't know if he was an Instagram Live guy. He did something with guns, I think.
Yeah, he definitely did. Definitely did. And then on top of it, his game doesn't equal you're allowed to play with guns and still get on the floor, because he just chucks.
All he does is shoot.
I mean, I was one of those people that watched the Monty Bay tape and was like, this dude is amazing when he's not shooting the worst shot you've ever seen in your whole entire life, consistently back to back to back. He's great, and that's why I thought when they got him, I was like, oh, it's solved, problem solved. With Cleveland, you got a championship team. No, he's still firing. But I'm gonna let you get your team of the week off, sir. Now that I got the rant about the Cavs.
My team of the week is, let me move my mic, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Congrats to the Thunder for winning the second weekly team of the week from Slim Dookie. And it's for just playing without a center. And I don't want to hear anyone tell me, and it's fine if you think this way, but I don't think Chet, just because he plays the center position for the Thunder, I don't think he's a true center. I don't care he's 7'1". I don't care he's a great rim protector. I think that his natural position is the 4. Regardless of that, my point is going to be that even with him playing in what I see as out of his natural position, he's still really good. And I think that it goes with, he's really long. He doesn't shy away from contact on the defensive end. And their team defense, the way that they guard as a unit, really helps make it a little easier on him. And this is where plus minus defensive ratings, they close out really well, but they cover down really well too. And if you watch the Thunder guards, which is usually 4, if not 5 of the players on the floor are guards or forwards, really, they're always in the right spots. And they make it really tough on bigs to catch anywhere but right. I mean, I guess they make it tough on bigs to catch in general because they will shade. They will show 2 guys. They'll just double sometimes. They held Wemby to 1 field goal. He only took 5 shots when the Spurs played the Thunder. But
that's amazing. I forgot
they are just showing and going. They mix it up. All the weak side help guards, like, they're just going to sit in there and they're going to dare the big off the catch to be able to make a play and kick it out. And if you kick it out, they scramble well, they close out well, they close out and slide well. They have a bunch of really, really good individual defenders that are all locked in as a team unit, and it's scary. It really is. And this goes along with my rant earlier, but like someone got so mad at me. I was made a whole video about how I think Chet is really good, and even though he's not a natural 5, he plays the position really well and allows them to do what they do. And it really, like, if he can be good enough at the 5 for them, what they get on the offensive end of having a 7-1 guy that can beat dudes off the dribble, catch and shoot from 3, and like catch lobs, like, that's crazy. That's awesome that you can have that on that end and still be really good on the other end. And the consensus from Thunder fans was, how dare you say Chet's not a center? I was just like, what?
I will say it's the trigger word. Is saying he's not a center. It's like in the NFL it's like in the NFL where you say that Lamar Jackson moves like a running back. It's like it's the trigger word. It's like you're not supposed to say certain things, even if you're complimenting them. It's like that's the trigger. Like, oh, how dare you say Chet is not a center? It's like, okay, brother, I'm saying that he's still really good outside of position.
It's even a compliment.
Sports trigger words, I say.
I'm just like, well, your organization seems to think that he's not a true center because they went out and got Isaiah Hartenstein. If he's such a great center, and then you want to play small ball anyways, then why do you go sign Isaiah Hartenstein? Why do you pay him a ton of money?
Hey, that's fighting words right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your own organization doesn't believe you either.
I just figured the Thunder, like the Thunder fan base for the longest time, it was just like the meme fan base of like, oh, we have so many draft picks. What are we going to do with all these picks? And it's like, they're the fun young team. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're really good. And now they've reached like, they're really good and they're starting to get annoying as a fan base. Like, they know they're good and they're looking for like anyone who still doesn't believe in them. It's like the Really, it's like a Boston sports mentality of like, yeah, you guys are, everyone says you're really good. It's like, yeah, but that one time you said you didn't believe in this guy and he's pretty good now. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I actually have one dude that that's followed me since my 5th video ever that pointed out the fact that I said that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown was not going to work. That man followed me the whole year. I made that video on the 2nd game of the season. He commented on the video I made about them winning the championship. I deleted it because I don't care. He commented and said, "You said this wouldn't work with the skinny," and I'm sitting there like, I hate you, brother.
Fair. Yeah. Also,
I hope nothing goes right for you in your life.
For
it was
you,
crazy.
All it took was like arguably the best and most well-rounded NBA team ever assembled.
Yeah. Ever.
I don't care if you're like, LeBron, Miami, NBA. Big Three, this, like, dude, that Celtics team is the most like perfectly assembled, well-coached team I've ever watched. I mean, there are a few teams that like Warriors dynasty rivals it. Like they're up. I think that this Celtics team is in that conversation. As long as they can keep these pieces, it might be like Celtics are at least in the championship every year until they have to break it up. I love Missoula too.
It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, they'll be my team of the week at some point in the future, just so I can make up for it. I do have to like repent.
I will say on that video where I was talking about the Thunder, I had like 4 comments of people being like, yeah, sure, like one team plays well for a little bit and everyone forgets about the Celtics. Like wait, like, do you want me to just only make videos about the Celtics? Like they're really good. They won the championship last year. Everyone's still talking about them.
Yeah, it was not much to talk about for the longest time. It was the same.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's
like year.
Actually 4 different people finding different ways to say that of like, how dare you not be talking about the Celtics right now? I'm just like, bro, go somewhere else. I know you're following 15 Celtics fan accounts. Just go to their pages. But
there's a ton of them also. I didn't realize that until I hate on Boston, which is my favorite thing to do in my free time. Like the second and then they always bring up I'm a Wizards fan, so I can't talk too much. But there's like a committee that is looking around the NBA TikTok and NBA Twitter to find people who don't believe in the Celtics.
Oh, 100%. That's just Boston sports fans in general.
Oh yeah, definitely. And OKC fans, they're starting to get. They're starting to get me too.
Don't do that. Just be fun.
I was hating on SGA. One time. I will admittedly, this was hate. I said that half his fans just think he's handsome. They didn't like that comment. They didn't like it. They was like, nope, he's a really good basketball player. I'm like,
it's like,
no, you just want to touch his chin. You don't.
He's got a great jawline.
Yeah, I'm about to say you just like looking at that man. Don't like. I'm not going to listen to you if you follow him on Instagram and like his pics. I'm not listening to you about basketball, brother. I'm sorry.
Goes back. Hey, the study, we like athletes that are more attractive than less attractive ones. Jokic is the only man who breaks it.
Insane study, I mind you, because
it is wild. But either way,
but team of the week.
Team of the week, baby.
Beautiful.
Good job. Congrats to the Thunder and the Cavs.
Congrats. Cavs, get a small forward. Please get a small forward. I'm out. Now it's time to get into our next segment called Starting Five, where we'll draft point guard through shooting guard, point guard through center, and our 6th man for a certain category. With today's category being guys that high school coaches would love. And the goal here is to make the most beautifully made high school 5-out basketball team we can with a 6th man that coach cannot stand.
Yes,
accidental rhyme kind of went crazy.
That was kind of accidental Bronson.
You
ever seen those?
Hey,
you're just accidentally tweeting like Action Bronson bars. Like I just had a coney and some cheese sauce fell between my toes. It's like accidental Bronson.
Yeah, no, I saw one where he said I got in a boxing match with a possum on my way to like a crip walk with a berry. That's what it was. I was like, what?
That's hard, bro.
But there we go. But let's go ahead and get
shout out Action Bronson. Come on the pod.
Shout out Action Bronson. But I will say, Nick, you will have. I'm pretty sure I had the first pick last time.
Did you?
Just for the first episode. I'm not sure. I can't. I do got to check that. But regardless, I'm gonna let you have it.
Cool.
Because I actually think you need to dictate kind of the pace of how we're gonna do this.
I'm glad I have the first pick because I was gonna be very upset if you took this player from me, and I feel like you might have. By the way, we're doing all time.
Yeah.
But I will have
all-time
a lot
players.
of current. I'll have a lot of current players on my list.
There we go.
But my first overall pick, I just thought of another one. I got to put it down. But my first overall pick is T.J. McConnell because do you have him? Did you have him on the big board?
He was on my list. Yes, I thought I was going to get him way later. But
yeah, when I think of like a high school point guard, I'm like, man, TJ is it. Scrappy, undersized. He's laying out. He had a game with like 11 steals in the NBA, which is insane. Doesn't shoot it that well, but he's serviceable. He's for like all the the broadcasters say about like white athletes, things apply to him. Just like real gym rat, scrappy, first in, last out, like makes the most of his abilities. Like really heady player, deceptively athletic,
first in, last out.
Yep, all the lunch pail guy, all those things. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, I will say him being a serviceable 3-point shooter is what makes him the perfect high school player. For the simple fact that because he's not a good 3-point shooter, he's forced to attack the rim.
Yep,
amazing, great pick, Nick.
Just downhill,
absolutely great pick. But to match that energy, I do have to go John Stockton. At my point
that's
guard.
A good one.
I will say, growing up in the hearts of the hood of DC, I didn't get asked to play like John Stockton a lot. But the second I moved to the nicer parts of Northern Virginia, all of a sudden now I have to change my game to John Stockton. And I will admit that's when I learned that he's the perfect high school coach point guard. And I will admit that playing like John Stockton was the most boring thing in my life. But my coaches loved it. So John Stockton will be my point guard.
Okay, I'm here for it. So at my next pick, I'm going to take a small forward, power forward. I don't know where I'm going to end up putting him, but Boris Diaw needs to be on this team. Because if I know one thing about high school coaches, they love a versatile point forward type guy, great connective passer, serviceable to shoot the ball, secondary ball handler, essentially just like having a second point guard out there all the time, good rebounder, finisher, like a little bit of back to the basket, like just a Swiss Army knife that plays the game, quote unquote, the right way. It's like this guy gets it. This is a coach's. It's like having a coach on the court. TJ might let his emotions get into it too much, and he might get a little clouded up top. But Boris is calm, cool, collected. Worst case, you pitch it to Boris up top, and you let him run the offense. But gotta have Boris.
And weirdly, for my second pick, I picked a player at the same position that played with Boris Diaw, with Tim Duncan at the power forward. Okay. I could throw him at center because Tim did play both. Actually, let's throw Timmy D at the center because I literally remember growing up and Tim Duncan being mentioned way too many times for a 9th grade basketball team. And personally, I can admit that I didn't watch a lot of Tim Duncan tape to improve in basketball, but that they call him the big fundamental. You gotta love him no matter what. And I personally think him next to John Stockton, that's some fundamental basketball right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be very fundamental.
That's gonna be the cleanest brand you've ever seen. Now I did pick 2 really good players, right? But it's not about the talent. It's about how much is a coach going to.
How much is the high school coach going to love them?
That's all that matters here. So I am going on the limb and picking really good players. which is not a good idea in this
That's
situation.
fair.
But
never
these
know.
two I'm very confident in. Very confident in.
I like it. Okay, so I got TJ running the 1, Boris at the 3 or the 4.
3. Okay, I thought he was a 4 mostly.
He played the 3, but he can play a small ball 4. You know, he's like 6'7" ish. I'm gonna take Josh Hart and put him at the 2. Josh Hart is the ultimate like energy, just the Energizer Bunny type player. You know, golly, as a coach, when there's a kid, especially a guard, that's just all over the offensive glass, I'm like, give him more minutes. I will literally
40.
Lay down my life for this child to go get another offensive rebound. I will fight the head coach.
Literally never let him sit down.
Literally. Like there's nothing more valuable in basketball than more chances to score. Whether it's being created from defense, you know, because you can have efficient offense and that's great, but like you don't have to have efficient offense if you just take more shots than the other team. And that's awesome. Offensive rebounds, forcing turnovers. It's awesome. But yeah, Josh Hart. So I got TJ Josh
McConnell.
Hart, Boris.
I will admit, TJ McConnell and Josh Hart, I would never want to play them. A day in my life, I never would. I would never want to play basketball against those two. So great picks on your part, Nick. For my next pick, my 3-man, I will have to pick Kyle Anderson, Slow-Mo Anderson. I know his high school coaches loved him. I know they talk about Kyle Anderson every single day in practice. I know they love that man for the simple fact that he's going a total of 2 miles per hour on an NBA basketball court. And I don't know if you've seen it, but he actually changed his shot and took the hitch out of it.
Yeah.
So now he has
it's
a real
little better,
shot
at least.
now.
Yeah.
It's still nasty, but it's a real shot now. And now we have this dude that's moving 0.5 mile per hour. I'm bringing it down because 2 is too much. And is like a great passer, smart as hell, good defender, great hands.
Incredible finisher too, man. Yeah.
Oh, my great finisher.
His touch
just needs a jumper.
Nuts. Yeah.
Just needs to get his jumper together. But the high school coaches literally could not care. They will keep him out there every minute. They'll let him shoot as many times as he feels like if he gets to pass like that. Kyle Anderson at my 3.
I like it. Especially because coaches love, like, you know, guys that play with good pace. They're like, that's like, I wish you all could learn something from Kyle. Like, he plays at his own pace and he still gets to the rim. It's like TJ, you just traveled 7 times because you're in such a hurry to get downhill. Look at Kyle. But
yeah, Kyle Anderson is also the perfect, like, look at him name. Also.
Yeah, look at Kyle.
Look at Kyle, guys. Look at Kyle getting on the glass. That's what you do. It's like I can see his coaches just like literally every single time somebody is like going too fast. Like, Kyle never did that one time. And it's like, all right, coach. He graduated.
We can't all be Kyle.
Ago.
Yeah. It's just like
but
falling asleep. The coach is definitely falling asleep thinking about Kyle.
But that'll be my 3-man, by the way. My 3-man.
All right. Thinking about it, I'm going to move Boris to the 4.
Okay.
And I'm going to get Derek White at the 3. And we're going to play small ball. We're going to be extremely switchable. And we're going to dog teams on the defensive end.
Now, question.
We're all 5 slap the floor
head
type
or no?
Team.
Yeah, bald head or no?
Easily bald head Derek White.
Okay, bald head. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I just had to confirm. I will admit, because that's a very different Derek White. If you was getting the one with the hair, he was dribbling and doing all. No,
nope.
Bald head.
Just my high school team that I'm picking right now is we are not going to ever get into a half court set because we're going to full court press you until we're up by 40. and then we're going to put in the
this
scrubs.
This is a scary basketball team for a point guard that wants to run. I mean, my God, this is really my nightmare lineup.
Are Josh Hart and Derek White. We're just running a 1-2-2 trap first pass.
Oh my God,
We're
I
just
will say,
devious.
as a coach, I feel like this is one of those teams you just throw out there. You don't even need to do anything. You just go ahead and get something from the concession stand.
Teach them 3 different presses. We're just full denial man the whole time.
Easy.
You're not gonna get a pass off. It's like I don't know if you remember those Shadow Mountain teams on Ball's Life that Mike Bibby coached.
Oh my God, I remember them.
Jalen Hands,
Eddie House's son. Wasn't he on the Shadow Mountain team?
He might have been
Jaden House or something.
Jalen Hands.
I remember.
And I don't know.
Yes.
Regardless, they were tough. They were not. They were nasty.
They was beautiful. I love those teams a lot. Okay, so right now I got John Stockton at the 1. I got I got Kyle Anderson at the 3, Tim Duncan at the 5. For my 2, I gotta go Klay Thompson.
Ooh, just sniper.
Again, we're going with another really good player. But the image of Klay Thompson being on the wing of a John Stockton, Tim Duncan pick and roll, you will never find a bad shot ever. Every single shot, good one. I mean, Klay Day is going to have a beautiful time. Klay Thompson, the problem with Klay Thompson, right, is that all my coaches, and you know this because you grew up in that era of the coaches that hated on Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Coaches swore Steph Curry was a bad example for basketball, and Klay Thompson was the complete opposite. That Klay Thompson was exactly what basketball is supposed to be, and Steph is the complete opposite. And the conversations back then, I literally could never get away from Klay Thompson. I dribbled the ball most of the time. Why the hell are you yelling at me about not playing like Klay Thompson?
So Coach, I can shoot it as many times as Klay. It's not going to be pretty. Yeah. You don't want that.
I will gladly shoot as many times as him. But, Coach, I'm dribbling half the time. And then I got to get in the gym. I studied Klay Thompson's jumper, by the way. Worst idea possible. Try to emulate it. It's not even possible. It's just way too perfect.
Mechanically perfect jump shot.
I know coaches literally, I know some of his high school coaches stayed up at night thinking about how beautiful his jumper is. Yeah. I mean,
I'll say whenever kids try to emulate an NBA player's jump shot, it's like, well, you really there are a few guys that set a good example, but you should never try to say, oh, that's a good job. I'm going to try to shoot no. At the end of the day,
Trae Young,
you can make a lot of different jump shots work. Was that?
Mm-hmm. Trae Young is somebody I think you can emulate.
You can. There are a few good examples.
He has a push one motion.
Yeah,
because
Steph is like that too.
And it's, oh yeah. You can emulate those. Klay Thompson's, the perfect shoulders into the perfect elbow, and he doesn't even thumb flick. It's perfect.
It's really nice. But you can make any Reggie Miller is one of the greatest shooters of all time, and he shot with both of his elbows out with a 6-finger thumb flick. And it's at the end of the day, you can't compare yourself to these guys because they get infinitely more reps than you'll ever get. The best thing you can do is just try to eliminate variables. If you're going up and the ball comes back before it goes forward, that's a variable. Try to eliminate it to the best that you can.
There you go.
And then move forward.
There you go.
Tangent.
That's how you
have
teach
5?
in high school.
You have
I have 4 right now.
I picked first.
Yes, I have. Yes, I'm about to say okay. I still need a power forward.
I need a center. And for my center, I'm going to take Isaiah Hartenstein. Just rim run, man. Intelligent rim protector. Dude, just coach's dream, dude. I might as well just I had Jalen Brunson on my list. I could have just made the Knicks.
Honestly, that should have been your goal here.
That is just a high school basketball team, bro. They're built like a high school team. It's we play 7 guys, we crash the glass, and we just don't run
there we go.
Too crazy stuff. We got a passing big. They are pretty much built like a high school team. or they were last year.
You
at
honestly
least.
should just took Dante DiVincenzo. Just
I could have.
just went
Hey,
ahead.
still got one pick left. Apparently, Tibbs didn't like him either.
Yeah, I want to say the sixth man is about to get interesting though.
Yeah.
But now to get my four man to round out this lineup, I might move some stuff around. You know what? Forget it. Dennis Rodman at my 4. Dennis Rodman was every coach's dream, and the problem was that they would never shut up. I get that he got 1 million rebounds, but coach, I am 6 feet tall. He asked me to get rebounds over 6'4" dudes. It's not gonna happen. Dennis did it. Shut up. And that's why I know he's the perfect dude to throw in any basketball team. This one especially. Now, how's he gonna do in modern NBA defensive strategies? I couldn't tell you, but we got some hustle on our team. And yeah, I personally, I need to form the pieces a little bit better. But that's my starting 5 right there, and I believe in them.
Let's go through it. Who do you have? And then I'll say mine.
Yes, so I have John Stockton at the 1. I have Klay Thompson at the 2. Kyle Anderson at the 3. I have Dennis Rodman at the 4 and Tim Duncan at the 5.
Okay, I like that. I do like that as a good squad. I got TJ at the 1, TJ McConnell at the 1, Josh Hart at the 2, Derek White at the 3, Boris Diaw at the 4, and Isaiah Hartenstein at the 5.
That is all intelligence. I gotta give it to you.
High
That's
IQ, high motor players. That's kind of what I went off of. Just like, what do high school? I mean, I'm a high school coach, and I'm an assistant, but like, our head coach is like, I feel like he's a very, very successful high school coach. He's won a handful of state championships. He consistently overperforms with teams, I think. And he just loves high IQ, high motor players. Like, that is his whole thing. And I was like,
yeah,
TJ, Josh Hart, Derek White, Boris Diaw, and Isaiah Hartenstein. Just literal. Man. Shout out the Yellow Jackets. All right, we got to go 6-man here.
Yeah, so 6-man. Yeah,
explain it, please.
Oh, yeah, so the 6-man will not be fundamental in any way possible. It will be the complete opposite. He's the kid that clearly is better than everybody out there, but will never get on the floor more than my high motor demons. And you, Nick, based off how it worked, we'll start off with the first pick of the 6-man also. Who will be the kid? Or you think
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you because I got the first pick of it. Because this is kind of a different category, and I think it will tie the whole thing together. So you go first.
You know what? And for my 6-man, this is the easiest pick of my life. I don't think I can make an easier pick. Cam Thomas as my 6-man. He will never touch the floor with a high school coach. I mean, he will never. I mean, the game will be, they will be literally up 30. And they'll throw Cam in there. Like, Cam, just dribble the ball out. He's going to shoot from half. And it's going to be beautiful. Cam Thomas as my 6-man. There will be there's nothing more perfect than that.
Yeah, Cam gets like 13 points in the last 3 minutes of the game when you're up by 30. And it's just like he played like 7 minutes total. And I got 3 minutes at the end, and just like with all the other scrubs, they're just like trying to run the play, and Cam is just like ISOing tween cross, hezzy tween cross, snatch, pull every time.
Generally, the kid that does not know the plays.
Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't care either.
Horns. He's like, okay.
Nah. Is that the one where I pull up?
Yeah. Cool. Is that the screen and roll? Oh, nah. Okay. Pull back. Step back. My foot is out of bounds. I'm still shooting this. And coach has nobody else to throw out there. And he has to just let him have fun. I think Cam, perfect on this basketball team.
So my pick is quite literally the opposite of how I picked the rest of my team. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pick Brandon Ingram. Low intelligence, low motor.
Yeah, that was very low motor. Unless his baby mama's new boyfriend is on the court.
I mean, Brandon showed up with 2 minutes left in warm-ups, smelling like a pound and a half, and he started lacing up while they're doing the starting lineups. He ran through. Actually, he didn't start, but he's lacing up at the end of the bench while everyone else is up doing the tunnel for the starting guy announcements. He's still lacing up, and he knows, like, hey, when I get in, I'm still about to get buckets.
Like, yeah, I was it. He's the kid that you always when you're on the team, you're always like, oh wait, he's the best player on their team, and he never gets in.
Yeah,
Brandon,
you're like watching him warm ups. You're like, he's got to be tough. Like, what did he do? What did he do that they're not playing them? They're not playing him. Yeah,
yeah. He just barely shows up. Missed 3 practices. All right, yeah, all right, feel that kid. I will say the idea of like a coach having to decide to play Brandon Ingram or Josh Hart. I mean,
high school coach
couldn't make an easier decision.
Yeah. Oh man, that's like
that would be.
They would sit BI and be like, "This is for your own good. I'm trying to teach you that you need to you need to change the way that you are."
Coach Carter is like, for no reason.
Cool. I'm a transfer, and then I'm gonna play Division I basketball at Duke for a year, and then I'm gonna go to the NBA.
It's like, this is, hey, coach, thank you, but I don't care. Fucking averaging 30, 33 points a game at his next school. I'm telling you, that's a good one. Now, I will say
he goes
from my
modern
side,
day and just goes crazy.
Oh yeah, goes
Go
stupid. I will say from my side, Cam Thomas and John Stockton on the same basketball floor, on the same basketball court, would, I think, actually cause
feed families.
A brain aneurysm in a coach's head of seeing those two on the court. As John is coming off, and instead of Klay Thompson, it's Cam Thomas. And he throws it out to him. Cam is like, not open enough. Steps back, does 4 or 5 dribbles. Does a step back 3. A coach is actually going to lose it.
I can see like high pick and roll, like defense rotates down. John kicks to the corner. They make a good closeout, and it's like a clear +1. Cam pump fakes, jabs, like step back, fake step back into like the little cross dribble getting downhill, and then snatches again to the corner when it's like, John's like, dude, just +1. Like, we got Klay Thompson right next to you. Just pass it to him. More. And Cam's just pulling it out. That'd be awesome.
Cam literally not hearing him.
Nah, he's got one a corded Apple earbud in his ear. I had a buddy that did that in high school. We go play at the rec, bro. Only Gucci, only listening to Gucci, bro. One corded earbud in, the other one tucked into his shirt, and he would just we'd play pickup and he'd have like 10 of our 12. It was crazy.
And then he doesn't know the score. Always.
No,
those
he did.
dudes never
like,
know
that
the
was
score.
game. Just pulled up from half court. Like, that was game. Oh, all right. Who's got next?
Amazing.
Oh man, great draft. I got bad news though. It's about that time, man. It's about that time for the show to end. But before it does end, we got one more last little fun thing that we like to do. If you didn't listen to the first episode, we end every show with both of us asking extremely specific NBA trivia questions. And eventually one is going to get it right. We will keep score, but I can see it being 0-0 for a very long time. But we ask a question that is, the answer will be a statistic with 1 decimal point that needs to be correct. So you got to guess the number, whatever is being asked, up to 1 decimal point correct. I don't know. My brain's not working, bro. Either way.
Good enough.
Would you like to go first?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For mine, we talked about Zach Edey earlier, but he actually went to IMG 2019 to 2020 with one of his teammates being Mark Williams.
Ooh.
Yes, the center that went to Duke that is on the Hornets now. I'm not sure if he gets any type of minutes. I can tell y'all right now. But
he's a good player, bro.
What I want you to answer.
He's better than Nick Richards. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are better than Nick Richards, but we're not going to talk about that. In the preseason last year, how many minutes per game did Mark Williams average? In the preseason 23-24.
I know he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out if he got hurt before the season or not.
Yeah, this is a per game. And he played. I can even give you the amount of games he played. He played
that would be helpful.
4 games. Yes,
because in the back of my head, I was like, this is a trick question. I'm going to say 0.0. He was hurt or something. But no, thank you.
Yes.
It's greatly appreciated.
He played 4 games.
Played 4 games. He's a young
Minutes
guy.
Per game.
They wanted him to start. But it's preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go 13.7.
13.7? Final answer?
Final answer.
Very wrong. Extremely wrong. He averaged 22 minutes a game.
Oh, shoot.
22,
he played a lot for preseason.
22.8. Yeah, that's why I did it. It's because I was like, he averaged 23 minutes per game. But 22.8, I think it's because last year they wanted him to actually be a part of the rotation. And they gave him a ton of minutes.
He's got to still be hurt.
Yeah, he's always hurt at this point. So, Nick, we'll say you were 0 for 0 for 2 to start this year off on NBA trivia. And if anybody listening got that right, you're lying.
Good for you,
Nick.
Yeah. If you get it right, you seriously get it right, tell us, and then we'll say we don't believe you, and we'll move on with our lives. But my question, this year, Zubats, however you say his first name, Ivica Zubats is second in the NBA for points scored off of screen assists. So when he set a screen that led to a score, he is the second in the NBA for points scored off of screen assists. What number is that?
God, I don't even know where to. Okay. Oh man, this is tough. So a screen assist is he screened if somebody scored off of his screen.
Yes, so he set the screen and they scored points off of it.
Okay.
He is second in the NBA when it comes to points per game scored off of screen assists that led to. I don't even know how to word that, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's one of those
screen assists leading to
scores. I was never gonna get to that side of sports reference. Okay. I'm so lost on where to start. I will tell you right now, Nick. We'll use the basis number of 6.
Give me.
Sounds.
You know what? How about this? You throw out a number, and I'll just give you an over or under. How about that?
7.
Over. And that's all you're getting.
What? He's over 7. Okay.
It's not buckets made. It's not field goals made. It's points scored.
Points.
So if a guy hits a 3 off of a screen that he set, that's 3 points going toward the total
game,
number.
Though.
Per game.
Okay. So
he sets a lot of screens. That's kind of just what he does.
I'm thinking about this. Now, and it's starting to come together. Okay. I've watched some Clippers games. I can give you, if I wind my brain back and think about that, I say he created 22 points per game off of screens. 22.3.
Final answer?
Final.
This is very wrong. The answer is 12.2.
What? Wait, what?
And you know who leads the NBA?
Who? Rudy Gobert?
Nick Richards. It's a great screener.
That's crazy. No,
14.2.
We just talked about it. That's insane.
I know.
How many?
I was gonna do Sabonis initially. I was like, nah, Zubats is funnier.
What? 12 is and the answer is 12 point what?
12.2. 12.2 points off of screen assists for Zubats.
And Nick Richards was number 1.
At 14.
That tells you a lot
Sizable
about that
jump
stat
there.
right there.
There's not a lot of 2-point jumps in between any of these guys. Pirtle is third with 12. Şengün is fourth with 11.8. Sabonis 11.3. Isaiah Stewart, Beef Stew in Detroit with 10.3. Steven Adams with 10. Steven Adams didn't even play. Steven Adams plays 12 minutes a game and gets 10 points scored off of his screens every game.
Oh my God.
All these guys play upwards of 20 minutes.
36 is insane.
Gafford is at 9.8 and he only plays 19 minutes a game, but 11.9 minutes per game and getting 10 screen assists per game, or 10 points off a screen assist per game is nuts.
I'm really surprised Gafford's not extremely high on that list.
He splits minutes with Lively. Him and Lively play
oh, that's what it is. Yeah, that's true.
Lively plays more. Actually, Gafford starts, but Lively plays more minutes. Ultimately, I'm pretty sure at least.
Okay.
Well, Heem, that is all we have for our show today, and I appreciate you being here. Like you're here every week. You're consistent. You're a blue collar guy, just like me. But for all of our blue collar listeners, all of the hoop sickos out there, please follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Real Hoop Hours Podcast. Subscribe to the Spotify. If you've listened to an episode, leave us a review, 5 stars, comment, whatever you want to tell us. If you want to hear something, if you just want to tell us that we're great and you love us, we love that too. We appreciate it. Subscribe to the YouTube, Real Hoop Hours as well. And we will be back next week on Wednesday. Thanks for listening.